Hi there. Today we're going to talk about math first. We're on Unit 8, Lesson 4. So Lesson 8.4 for math today. We're going to practice making conjectures and mathematical arguments. So for your math lesson today, you're going to need the worksheets in the packet, plus your math journal, which is your workbook, plus your student reference book. So make sure you have your student reference book out, and you're going to read pages 12 and 13 with Mom before you do anything else today, okay? I'm going to introduce the lesson to you, but I do want you to reread these 2 pages with Mom and Dad. It's really important, okay? All right, so making conjectures and arguments in math. When solving problems, people often start by making a conjecture. A conjecture is a statement that might be true. It's like making a hypothesis in science class. In mathematics, conjectures are not simply guesses. They are based on some information or mathematical thinking. Mathematical reasoning that shows whether a conjecture is true or false is called an argument. You can use words, pictures, and symbols when you make a mathematical argument. So you're going to read this story about these 2 children, and then you're going to see how they decided whose answer or whose conjecture might be correct and why. They came up with reasons for why. And you can see they drew some diagrams and pictures. You could also use number models and sentences, words to talk about it. So look at their story, and then when you're finished with that, you're ready for your math journal. So today, we're going to begin on page 261 in the math journal. And we're going to look at a teacher named Mrs. Soto and her class. She's going to be setting up for math night, and she needs to set up chairs in her classroom. So there's lots of really important information. She's going to give her class a problem to solve about the number of chairs she's going to set up. And we need to listen to the clues and maybe write some things down as we go, or underline, circle, all that, okay? So it says, Mrs. Soto is setting up chairs for math night. Her room cannot fit more than 35 chairs. That's important information. So underline it or circle it. Her room cannot hold more than 35 chairs. What does that tell you? The number will not be greater than 35. She places the same number of chairs in each row. So she's making arrays, like multiplication arrays. You know how to do that already. That means the same number in a certain number of rows. As she sets up the chairs, she makes a problem for her class with these clues. So let's listen carefully. You can read along in your workbook as I read the clues. And I want you to think about the things we're discussing. Are we ready? Clue A. When there are 2 chairs in each row, there is 1 leftover chair. What does that mean? That means that Mrs. Soto's number is not a multiple of 2, because when she sets up arrays of 2, there's a leftover chair. That also means it's not going to be an even number, because all the multiples of 2 are even numbers. So far we know the number is not going to be higher than 35, and it's not a multiple of 2, which means it's not an even number. Things we should jot down. The clue B says, when there are 3 chairs in each row, there's a leftover chair. What does that tell us? If she puts the chairs in rows of 3, 6, 9, 12, etc., and there's a leftover chair, that the number of chairs total is not a multiple of 3. Let's go on and read clue C. When there are 4 chairs in each row, there is still 1 leftover chair. That tells us that it's not going to be a multiple of 4 either. So far we know the number is 35 or less. It is not a multiple of 2, which means it's not an even number. It's not a multiple of 3, so I might write the multiples of 2, multiples of 3 that are 35 or less, multiples of 4 that are 35 or less, and then let's read clue D. When there are 5 chairs in each row, there are no leftover chairs. So it is a multiple of 5, because when we make arrays with 5 in each row, there are no leftovers. That means it is a multiple of 5. It's a multiple of 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, or 35, that's not an even number, not a multiple of 2, obviously, not a multiple of 3, not a multiple of 4. So a multiple of 5 that fits all those other rules. So you're going to have to come up with an argument. You can draw an array, you can draw multiples of 5 and think about the other rules we talked about, draw a picture, use your student reference book to help you, have mom and dad help you with this page. This is a big one for mom and dad to help you, okay? When you're done with this page, please have mom and dad text me a picture so I can make sure you're on the right track. This is because it's a new concept. Then we're going to do the math boxes for 8-4, and you can look at your worksheet packet. There's the home links in that, okay? The next thing we're going to do is finish the 2 spelling pages for compound words. It's going to be page 123 and 124. On 123, you're going to remember part B, you have to compare and contrast 2 of the words from the word list. This week you're going to be comparing and contrasting daytime and birthday. Now we already know they're both compound words. What else do they have in common? That's right, they both have the word day. Does the word day show up in the same place for daytime as it does for birthday? Or is day at the beginning of one word at the end of another? So please write 2 complete sentences comparing and contrasting birthday and daytime for me. When you're finished with your spelling pages today, you're going to read with mom and dad like you would with your reading partner at school. So this is when we do shared reading, we read together. And we remember elbow, elbow, knee, knee. That means you're going to sit right by mom and dad and read in a nice clear voice. Now when we read at school, when we partner read, we take turns, and you're welcome to do that at home too. When you're finished reading the first story, which is The Golden Goose, that's a German fairy tale, you're going to stop and talk about characteristics of fairy tales, and as well as some other questions. Now remember, we're also going to work on summarizing, so you can summarize for mom and dad real briefly, the beginning, middle, and end. Okay? And then you're going to answer the text evidence questions. And you can do this with discussion. You don't need to write anything down. For number 4, it does ask you to write. You don't need to. If you'd like to, you may. You can just discuss that with mom and dad. The next story is called Gold, Gold, Gold. And that's an expository text because it's a social studies theme. It's economics. And so this is a story with facts about gold. And I can also see some expository text features in here. Chart, photograph, caption. So go ahead and read that second today. And when you're done reading that, you're also going to answer the questions on the blue page. It says focus on genre. You don't have to write them down unless you'd like to. You can just discuss them with mom and dad. And then finally, at the end of the story, there's different questions that we would talk about together. We'd get back together as a class and we would talk about. So I'd like you to do that with mom and dad, okay? We're going to be talking about reasons the author wrote The Golden Goose, who are the main characters in The Golden Goose and the other characters. Plot goes back to summarizing, so think about your summary. You're going to have to answer a question about the problem, the plot. And then you're going to make a connection to talk about how The Golden Goose might be similar or different from other fairy tales you've read. So you don't have to write anything today. Just partner read with mom and dad, both of these stories, Golden Goose and Gold, Gold, Gold. And then tomorrow, you're going to come back and answer questions using the text and this packet that I made. So don't worry about the packet today. That's for Thursday. All right? Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day. Remember, you can always reach out to me by asking me questions on the classroom page. Mom and dad can text me, and they have my number, so you're always welcome to call me. You're also allowed to FaceTime me, so if you have any questions or you're just missing me, go ahead and FaceTime me. I'd love to talk to you, and I hope you have a fantastic day. I miss you so much. Bye-bye.